Here's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove, a local hour. We are talking EKU Hoops and EKU Women's Basketball with two great guests, Michael Moreno and Alice Recanati. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove local hour.
McKinney looks, steps into pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes, we're going to play up-tempo, we're going to play with unbelievable passion, and then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.
To a special edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour on a Sunday night, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky, the perfect stocking stuffer for your loved one. Righteous Felon Jerky, find your new favorite flavor. RighteousFelon.com. Use the code STOVE15, STOVE15, and for a limited time, you're going to get 20% off your order. That discount will go back to 15% shortly, so take advantage of it while you can. Get you some jerky, and you'll be ready to go for the rest of the holiday season. Welcome in. I'm your host, Vince Stover, joined by my co-host, the one and only Ryan Jackson. How you doing, Ryan?
You know, I'm doing good today, too. This was a lovely day. Didn't really get to do much, so it's different than what I've been doing for the past couple months. So
You're home for the time being. Got to go home for the holidays. First time in how many years?
at least 3.
Yeah, for Thanksgiving. So there's pros and cons to that. There's reasons why you weren't there before, and for some of those years at the very least, and still playing football. So I'm sure that Grandma and Mom were happy to have you home. I'm sure at the end of the day you wished you were still playing, but this is a positive to the negative outcome is spending time with family. Which, face it, that's life, right? When you have negatives happen in life, hopefully you always have family to come home to, and so that's good too. What did you guys do for the Thanksgiving weekend?
Well, I came in. I think I came in either the day before Thanksgiving, and we went over to my grandma's and ate it all up. We had some good food. I helped my mom cook a couple dishes, but I'm not the best with helping on desserts and stuff. So they made all my favorites because they knew I was coming home, and we pigged out and watched a good little Austin P lose, but that's besides the point. Watched some great football throughout the whole week. It was just a great time just to be able to see my family. I haven't got to see them in person in a long time, and just sit down and talk and play cards. It was just great.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing too. So my wife's family came into town, and they're going to be here for another week still. But we played lots of games, card games, and just different games around. We went to the EKU women's basketball game on Saturday and got to cheer them on as well. We ate a whole lot of food, just a whole bunch of food, and so still eating it. As a matter of fact, that's the way it works in our home. So still eating on it a little bit longer to get through, but it's been a fun weekend. My wife has been recovering from surgery for about 4 weeks. She's got about 2 weeks left of recovery, and so it was nice to have her family in town and hang out and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. Get some time off of work as well, which is always nice. Got to go back tomorrow, and it's going to be 30 degrees when I leave the house in the morning, so I'm not looking forward to that, but that's okay. That's okay. We will make do. But we're doing a Sunday show because the men's team plays tomorrow night as they host Troy, and looking forward to that game. My plan is to be at that game, so that's why we moved the show up a night ahead, and it helps us with the guests. We'll be able to get on Michael Moreno, who would not have been able to come on next week, or tomorrow. So that works out well. And of course, Alice Recanati will be on the show for a second time tonight. She'll be on tonight. So that we're looking forward to that as well. I want to start with some football, and it's not EKU necessarily related, but it's been wild. The coaching carousel has begun. Friend of the show, not the local hour necessarily, but I host the Sports Stove podcast on Wednesday nights. And Indiana head football coach Tom Allen was relieved of his duties. He's been on the show 3 times as a friend of the program, and has always been a great guest. And so I'm going to shoot him a message and see if he wants to come And I haven't talked to Coach Wells yet, but to see if maybe we can find some room for him on the staff. Tom Allen's a phenomenal human being, great defensive mind in the game. And so I just wanted to say good luck to him as he goes out to find a new job. But I mean, the Kentucky stuff was crazy. Last night I went to bed. Mark Stoops was leaving. He was going to Texas A&M. And I woke up this morning and no, he's staying. I'll talk about that on my Wednesday show so I can mock the situation a little bit more. But that was crazy. Everything's moving so far. At least nothing has been released from the university. Everything is currently as is with the EKU football program. We did see Reese Atkins go into the transfer portal and reached out to him and just wishing him good luck. We like Reese and we want what's best for him, obviously, and injuries derailed his season. So I know he's probably on the way out the way it looks right now. But I mean, Reese is a great dude. And man, the season just didn't go the way he wanted it to, especially because of injury, right?
Right, yeah. Reese will be a great add to any team that he gets picked up by. He just a great attitude, great character guy. It just wasn't working out for him here, and that's unfortunate for him. The situations just weren't always matched up perfectly, but like I said, Reese is a phenomenal person, has a phenomenal family, has just a great overall player, and any team will be lucky to have a guy like that.
Yeah, Reese, we're going to miss him. Sad. Like I said, man, I was really looking forward to this season for him. An injury derailed it early, and then when he did get back, it was just finding that right place. And so good luck to him as he looks ahead to what is next as well. But we also want to give a shout out to the EKU women's volleyball team. They are going on to the National Invitational Volleyball Tournament. I do not know much about this tournament as I don't really follow college volleyball. But that being said, it is postseason, and that's a big deal. And teams like Georgia Southern, FAU, Dartmouth, Eastern Carolina, there's a lot of schools that are making it into this. EKU does get in and finalize into that tournament. So congratulations to them. I think it's only about 6 or 8 teams. It's not a whole lot of teams. And so it's going to be a tight squeeze for them. Obviously, the ASUN tournament did not go as they wanted it to go, but the postseason still gives opportunity. So we're excited for Coach Bazzani and her team. Multiple girls made postseason honors as well, and so good luck to them. And I just want to say how I've told a few people this story now about Coach calling me out on my own program for not showing up and supporting those girls. And I apologize again. I appreciate her calling me out when she was on. So, but good luck to them in the postseason tournament. And yeah, I was trying to apologize, and then she called me out. So, but good for her. That's what she should do. And that's what we should be all feel guilty for not getting out. Those of us who did not get out. I know several of our listeners do get out to the volleyball games, so they're not guilty of it, but I am. And I appreciated Coach calling me out on that. I think that's good. Let's see here. College basketball. We'll talk with Alice in a few minutes. But Saturday, the girls won 100-25. They played Campbellsville Harrodsburg, and just dominant from the get-go. And I'll tell you, I think it was really smart scheduling by Coach Todd. They just got back from the Alaska trip, so I'm sure there's some jet lag. I'm sure there's some recovery that needed to take place, and having a team like Campbellsville come in helps with that opportunity. They got to play a bunch of girls. Bridget Fox, friend of the show, she got the Colonel hat after the game, and for her performance as well. And I'll just tell you, watching Ivy and Alice running the guard spots, and Sierra just pulling down every stinking rebound there is to pull down. And they got some girls. They got a full team. Like it's a legit, at least 10 deep team, which is going to be huge as they come through the season. And so that was a lot of fun. It was $2 a day. We got some popcorn, and watched the game and everything there. So that was good. They play again very soon. We'll talk to Alice about the upcoming games and get into it. Men's basketball. They're coming off of 2 straight losses. They lost to Tennessee Martin on Friday the 17th and Prairie View A&M on Tuesday the 21st, both at home. And then a little EKU Classic, and definitely not the way they wanted that one to go. So we'll talk with Mike about that and get his feel of what's ahead, because now they get into it. Troy is here on Monday, followed by let's see, a road trip to Western Kentucky of all places, then UNC Greensboro, before back home for a free hot chocolate night on December the 10th. By the way, Monday night's game against Troy is the study break game, so students get free cookies, crumble cookies while they last. So there's a reason to come out, if not for basketball, but you should come out for basketball. Needless to say from that. Before we talk to Mike, Ryan, tell us a little bit about the offseason. What's it looking like? How much of it is get away from it for a little bit before you get back to it? I'm sure you got exams coming up and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much everybody get the heck away from each other for a little bit. We're tired of seeing each other. Hate those guys. Nah, I'm playing. This is the time where the players and the coaches kind of get to like take that deep breath and relax for a second, because there's no stress, no this and that. Which we rather our lives be busy, but if we can relax for a little bit, let's relax, and people can focus up on school to finish out the school year strong, and we'll get back into our workouts between optional workouts and mandatory workouts here soon. And that's what Coach Brown's going to have to send us all that stuff. I don't really know the exact date, but the offseason's always been a great part to really focus on what happened during the season, what you want to get better throughout the season, and how you're going to approach it next year. Especially me going into my last one, there's a lot of things that I left out on the table in last season, and I hope I get to correct that, and I hope my team gets to help me correct that too.
Did you get a chance to watch any football today or anything like that? Did you get to watch your former teammates playing today?
Right, TK McClendon got his first start with the Titans, and he got his first win as a starter too.
Yeah, got recorded a tackle in the game also. So that's pretty cool. He just got activated, I guess, 2 weeks ago, got brought off the practice squad, and he's making an impact right away, right? I mean, that's were you shocked by that impact? Or I know you're not.
I was shocked to find out he was the starter, because I hadn't paid attention to his real social medias because we were in our own little football career. But TK, he's a special guy. He's a special athlete, special player, and he brings that energy, that excitement to any team that he comes on. And I'm happy to see not only success for a guy I used to play with, but success for a person like TK who's been through a lot. And he's finally getting his opportunities to show why he should have been elevated on that level or put up on that level, or why people should have been talking about him more. And Matt Jack too, he's not just in the background. He's playing, or he's at least getting significant reps from what I remember. And it's encouraging for the guys that are still here at EKU that you can reach that level. You can play, and you don't have to be drafted in the first 5 rounds to start,
right?
Or the first many rounds to start. You can be a free agent. You can get picked up by a team, and you can outwork everybody on the roster.
Yeah, Matt, I've kind of kept up all year with him. It's like about every 2 or 3 games, he's recording a tackle or two, getting a lot of special teams run, is what he's doing now. TK pulling in tackles, getting in the stats and everything like that as well, which is pretty exciting there. So just seeing those guys contribute and play, getting that opportunity. Of course, we make a big deal about Tim Boyle, and no slack on him. I mean, yes, he came to EKU. But to be fair, it's one of those things where he spent time here, so they're going to claim him, and they do claim him. And I think he's a good dude, and I cheered for him when he was with Green Bay, and happy for him and his opportunities. That's a tough spot there in New York right now for him to be in. So it's a good luck.
Gonna have to give him some tackles though.
Yeah. As a Packer fan, it was time for Aaron Rodgers to move on. He got everything he wanted, and you see how it's turning out. Now, granted, he's hurt, and if he wasn't hurt, that would change some things. But nonetheless, sometimes you just got to let management do their job and go from there on everything. But it is what it is. Congrats to TK and Matt and their continued success in the NFL. And now we kind of get some of those guys that are graduating. Now they're working their way towards that opportunity to play on Sundays. I saw Jeremy Edwards post this week talking about that some, and they'll have pro day and different things going on throughout the off season to get ready for that opportunity. And there's a very high chance that we're going to hear at least one, if not more, EKU name called during the draft this year, which is exciting to hear about too. And we'll see if some of them will get opportunities, I'm sure, here with some postseason senior bowls and different things like that. So excited to see where it goes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking EKU men's basketball with the one and only Michael Moreno. But first, a quick word from our friends at IPM Pest and Termite.
With over 20 years of experience, Matt Schaefer and the good folks at locally owned IPM Pest and Termite provides pest control service for all of Central Kentucky's pest control needs. Whether you have a current pest control problem or want to prevent infestation from ever entering your home, IPM Pest and Termite offers maintenance programs that will help keep pests out of your home and provide peace of mind. So for dependable, reliable services that you can count on, get in touch with our good friend Matt Schaefer at IPM Pest and Termite today at myipm.com. That's myipm.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Stove Local Hour presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Again, right now, if you go to righteousfelon.com, use the code STOVE15, you're going to get 20% off your purchase for a limited time before the discount goes back to 15%. So fill your stocking stuffers right now. We are joined by EKU men's basketball forward Michael Moreno. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, good to have you on. Are you having to get used to being called Malachi's big brother, or are you okay with that?
I'm good with that. I take pride in it. I'm proud of him. I knew the time was coming. I didn't know if it would happen sooner or later, but it's here, and I'll take that name anywhere. So,
yeah, that's fun. That's fun that he's getting these opportunities. Of course, we're waiting to see when he gets to pick where he's going to go and everything like that. But we didn't bring you on to talk about that. We brought you on to talk about EKU and everything that's going on here. And I felt like it was good to have you on, Michael, because of the current situation you guys are in. You're coming off a rough stretch, heading into some really important basketball games. But let's start with the hardships, right? It's 2 straight losses at home, Tennessee Martin, Prairie View, A&M. What did you guys learn through those 2 games?
We learned that we have to be able to grind out those tough victories, even when we shoot bad. You know, it's honestly in my, I guess my 5th year now, in my 5 years of being here, I don't ever remember a time where we shot it this poorly. I feel like we've always been run and gun, and that's coach's style, most exciting 40 minutes in sports, and shooting early, shooting often, taking those, those shots that most coaches, you wouldn't, see them encouraging as much. That's kind of the style. Coach wants us to play fearless, to play fast. So, a lot of times that's just how it goes for us. And when we're not shooting the ball well, what are we going to do? Do we have other dimensions to our team, to our game that are going to carry over? And we learned that obviously we didn't defend at a high enough level. We didn't shoot the ball well. And free throw shooting was a huge Achilles heel in both of those games. It would have been the difference maker for both of those. Could have been very well 4-0 in that situation. So we can always, ponder on what ifs, but we learned a lot about ourselves. We learned that there's still opportunity for us to win games like that when we don't shoot bad, but shots are going to fall. So that's why that's where the learning comes in. That's where you take that, combine it with just the thought of it's going to happen for us.
Now, this summer, Coach said we are not going to shoot free throws poorly this year. that's what he said. So how are the practices following those games?
Every single drill has a free throw. The way it's always been is we have to seal the win with something, whether it's an extra stop with a little bit of adversity added on. So whether it's playing 5-on-4, whether it's stop and then going down and converting on the other end, this time it's been free throws. It's either 5 players on the defensive team after they get the stop have to hit 5 free throws in a row. And if you don't, you bump back down a point and you got to get a stop again. So just adding that, mentality of finishing the play with a free throw. Because, that's how it happens on the offensive end. You get fouled, you got to finish the play off with a free throw because they could foul you the whole game. If you go 0 for 10, that's 5 stops basically. So,
yeah. Now, you guys, your roster changed right before the season. DK ended up electing to stay overseas and playing over there, which congrats to him, by the way. I wondered for a little bit if you were going to be playing center again some this year, but you guys bring in Montavious. You still got David as well. But overall, the roster, the locker room, stuff like that, everybody, you got a lot of returning guys this year. So everything meshing pretty well there.
I think so, yeah. Having that camaraderie from last year's team makes a huge difference in in ways off the court. I feel like a lot of people don't see, but on the court too. You're familiar. You know what guys are capable of. Also at the same time that guys are trying to grow their games individually. So you see the work they put in every day rather than just saying, oh, this is what you're known for. Don't try and reinvent yourself. Like, no, it doesn't work like that here. Guys work. We all put in the work every single day. Like I've spoken on everybody, in the preseason, anytime I've ever been asked anything like that, everybody's made growth in their game on our team, and we trust each other. We love each other. And that's something that we don't ever have to worry about, is that having that mentality of these are our brothers. These is who we want to go out there with. This is who we want to roll with. And so be it. We're going to do it together, and that's all that matters. But having, that small roster turnover in a world where roster turnover is huge nowadays makes a huge difference in, like I said, in trust and value of each other and understanding that, the guy next to you, he cares about you, and, he's willing to do whatever it takes to win, just like you are. So.
Now, Rhino, they have walk-on tryouts. They just posted online. So, it's time to get those legs loose and ready to get back to it. We talked to Coach about you jumping in there and filling a role. So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, they probably got too many bigs for me already because I'm undersized big. I don't know if they wanted me and my friends are already in the group chat talking about how we're going to pull up, but I don't know if we're actually going to do that. But I do have a question, Michael. In your long career here at EKU, because I know I've been here a long time too. But what do you think has been the biggest change, not only in the basketball program, but EKU as a whole?
I just feel like when you evaluate it from when I got here, it was pre-COVID, which feels like a century ago. But when you look at the growth of the programs and the athletic department as a whole, the success level is honestly. I don't ever remember a time, from what I've heard from some of the people who've been around a lot longer than me. I don't ever remember a time where that we had this many programs succeeding at this level. Our cross country team, that's a sport nobody really ever talks about, unfortunately, but our cross country team is one of the best in the country. One of the programs is best in the country. I mean, you look at a program like that, that's not getting the notoriety that, football, basketball, baseball would get. They're succeeding. You got our volleyball team, 21 season, just got selected to go to the National Invitational Tournament. Congratulations to them. That's huge. But having those sports that aren't necessarily in the limelight all the time succeeding as well. And then we have great coaches all around. I mean, Coach Wells, Coach Pro, Coach Ham, guys at the major, the major programs. They're getting people excited. They're getting fans out. They're getting, community interest again. But you have players that want to play here. And that's something that's hard to do in a situation where we have these major programs in this state, and we're still getting guys who, I want to go to EKU, and that's their thought process. And when they get the opportunity, it means something to them. So that's been the biggest change, I think, as far as EKU goes. But basketball, I think we led the conference in attendance last year, having that sort of community engagement, and, that you can't really find that in many major programs. Like I was saying earlier, with roster turnover, it's hard to get attached to kids and players nowadays. But we have guys like myself, Tay, who've been in the program, Deshaun Jackson, that's 3+ years right there that we've all been in the program. And we've got Kozart, a local kid, Turner, a local kid. There's guys on the team who you can rally around, but they want to be here. And that's a benefit in itself in a program, is if you have guys that not only enjoy being where they're at, but they have a desire to be where they're at, and they understand that it means something to be where they're at. So I think that's been the two biggest changes as far as basketball and just athletics at EKU. So
has Coach Hamilton changed at all? You, like Ryan said, you've been around for a while now. Obviously, every coach is going to grow to some degree and different things like that too. But he's well established. What kind of changes have you seen in him and maybe even the staff too?
Well, for starters, he's been through a lot. In his time, everybody knows his off the court, battles. Most people don't come back from that. Most people don't think about coaching your team. Most people don't think about how am I going to get my guys in shape? Most are like, and how am I going to continue to go about my day? I'd just be lucky to continue to live. My family were rallying around me because I don't know. Anybody who's heard his story knows that he says worst case scenario, it could have been over in less than a year. And it really put life into perspective for him, but for all of us too, to be thankful for it. We see a living example every day in Coach Hamilton that, you have to be grateful for the opportunity you've been afforded. You have to be grateful for the opportunity to be around each other. I think he's changed. He's become he's always been tough. He's always been tenacious. He's always had this fire about him. He's intense. He's a tremendous leader. But I think he's really grown into sort of that male role model that, guys look for when you come to college. Like your coaching staff, all the coaches we have, they've been through something, but they're molders of men as much as they are basketball coaches. And I think that can't be overstated, any more than it is. Like, that is the most important part. Is this ball is going to stop bouncing one day, and we have guys that are, going to become productive members of society, and that's the ultimate goal. He's been a molder of men, and he's truly changed my life in being somebody who I can turn to beyond basketball. All my coaches are like that for me. So I think his biggest change is like he tells us he loves us. I mean, before every game when we go in, we dap. I mean, he always hugs me and he tells me he loves me. And like, you wouldn't realize what that means to me or anybody on the team, just having that. Because most guys, you can't break a solid rock, before the game. He's locked in, he's motivated, all that, but he still doesn't forget to tell us he loves us, he cares about us. And that goes beyond basketball. That goes beyond anything. The things I tell people, one of my biggest, mentalities is that you never remember what people say to you, but you remember how they made you feel. I'm never going to remember 20 years down the road him yelling at me. I mean, I'll remember a couple of them, of course, but I'm not going to remember him, what he said to me. I'm going to remember how he made me feel.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest change is he's shown that side of him. Like we're a family first and foremost. Like, yes, we're coach player and we're all like that, coaches to players, but we're a family, and it's bigger than what basketball can do for us and do to us. It's all about the lifelong connection we made.
So how do you take that now? Again, this is not your first year as a veteran on the team, but you got a bunch of young guys on the team coming behind you. And obviously you want to give everything for this year and you want to win this year and all that kind of stuff. But has that trickled down to you as far as how you react to and respond to the younger guys on the team and kind of understand that role of, hey, it is more than basketball. And has that changed the way that you care about the guys that you play with?
Absolutely. First and foremost, like I remind guys every day, like we go to EKU. It's a special place. But when you think about it, we're not pumping out pros every year like Kentucky is, so you have to put together a complete portfolio. Like these guys are coming in and they're understanding the value of a degree. Coach tells us about it every year, the value of building connections and networking, understanding that you have to bring more to the table because we're not in the limelight of some of the larger programs. But also understanding that you want to leave a place better than you found it. That's what I came in. That's what I set out to do. And now pushing that onto other guys, like understanding that it's good to get to know the people who are around EKU because, like I said, when the ball starts bouncing, you're going to need a job. You're going to need references. You're going to need opportunities. And who else but people who can speak on behalf of your character, people who used to, who still love you, but people who love you, people who respect you, and that their word holds weight. And so understanding that putting it all together includes networking. It's hard sometimes going to all the dinners, the events, the school pep rallies and everything, but you don't know what that means in the moment. When you look back, you're like, this is why people truly love us and respect what we do, is because we've involved ourselves and made ourselves more accessible to the community, to the people, and we've shown that we're humans, we're regular people. We're not just machines. We're not just basketball players. Like we're people just like they are. We're regular people just like they are. Like my biggest thing about EKU, I think as an athlete, and Ryan can attest to this, is like a lot of times you'll go to class and you're just another person in class. At some schools, you sit there and they're like, people are taking pictures of you. People are wanting to talk to you, all this stuff. But like I go to class and people don't even, I'm just Michael. And like, that's the biggest blessing is you never feel weight of pressure of being an athlete other than performing. And that's it. And going to practice and lifting and all the stuff that comes with being just a true student athlete instead of all the exterior pressure that comes at some other places. So I feel like understanding, and I know I'm getting off track here, but I feel like understanding that there's more that you got to bring to the table and putting that on to the other guys, understanding it's going to set them up beyond, because I want to leave the place better than I found it. So I would hope that trickles down to them as well.
Love it. You guys got Troy tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in Baptist Health Arena. Tickets still available. People need to call Raymond, get those taken care of, be out there for the game. What are you guys expecting from Troy? Have you ever played Troy before?
Not since I've been here. It feels like this is, I think if I'm right, this is like my 800th game, at EKU basically. No, but I think this is like game number 130 something for me. So it feels like I've played a lot of different teams, but never played Troy. Troy is a team that, they look a lot like us in their play style. They want to get up and down. They're aggressive on the defensive end. They press. So, almost like a place where we feel comfortable because we see it every day. Obviously we don't see those guys every day, and we don't see there's probably certain minor tweaks they have in their defense and offense that, we don't do. But seeing that aggressive mentality on the defensive end is almost like it's not comfort for us, but it's to understand we know how to attack it because we attack it every day, because we guard each other like that. So I think that's one thing you got to expect, is that it's going to be an up and down game. They play a similar style to us. But we want to get the arena rocking. We need to get back on track. We're hungry. This is our, the last game on our homestand. And then December, we're off and running a lot. So, it's important to us that we get back on track. We kind of find ourselves again, and then obviously knock down free throws, whatever that may be. So that's an important part of the game. But when you look at the numbers, Troy puts their teams or their opponents on the line quite a bit. So that's something that's going to, we either do or we don't. So I think that's the big thing.
Rhino, what else you got for Michael?
I gotta ask from captain to captain, even though you've been captain way more than I have. How does it feel to know you get new teams each year, new recruits each year, but they continue to name you captain?
I mean, it's awesome. I feel like it's important to me because I strive to put myself out there as a leader, an example. And some days it's hard. It's hard being, looked at as, the standard, or, the guy that everybody looks to when things do go south. So sometimes it's hard because, we all deal with our own stuff, as you know. I mean, you go through things like I go through things, like Coach Wells go through things, Coach Hamilton goes through things. I mean, everybody goes through things, but at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're in that position for a reason, and people look to you because when adversity hits, you're not wavering. You know how to attack those situations, and guys look up to you, whether that's off the court, on the court, off the field, on the field, whatever it may be. They see you as an example that, okay, well, this is a guy that I feel like can do the hard stuff better than I can right now. And I know on the football team, that's a team of 100 guys. So that's an honor that you get named. For me, it's 16 this year. So, but I mean, it still means the same to me that I've done well enough to put myself out there that guys see me as a leader and as somebody that they feel okay looking to in situations that, maybe aren't as favorable. They know I'm rock solid, I'm steady, and I want to, push that mentality on the other guys, so that way not only when I leave they're ready, but they can teach it, they can instill that in other people. So
awesome. Well, Michael, we always appreciate your time, man, and I appreciate you always being kind to my boys when they show up to practice, and just always friendly. So I appreciate that. And good luck, man, tomorrow night. Plan to be there, hopefully with there, and cheering you on tomorrow against Troy, getting everything back on track for the rest of the way through. And we could talk to you a lot longer, but we got another guest waiting. So we're going to let you go and get back to your evening. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and good luck the rest of the way, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Vince, Ryan. Appreciate you guys as always.
No problem. Michael Moreno, EKU Hoops. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking with Alice Recanati. Here's a quick word from All Around Roofing first. Does the exterior of your home need a facelift? All Around Roofing has you covered. All Around Roofing is a locally owned company servicing Madison County and all of Central Kentucky. From roof repairs and replacements to gutters, siding, windows, soffits, chimney flashings, and more. All Around Roofing provides quality work and friendly service that will leave your house looking great. Call today, 859-489-5179 to get a free quote. That's 859-489-5179. We can handle your all-around exterior needs at All Around Roofing. Welcome back to the Sports Stove Local Hour, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. And now it's time to shift gears to the EKU women's team, starting for the best record since 1981, 6-1, coming off a 100-25 win. It's EKU guard Alice Recanati. Alice, how you doing?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for.
Hey, thanks for being here. We really do appreciate it. Was at the game Saturday. Was it, it was quite the game, needless to say, won by 75 points. Coming off that long trip to Alaska, how did it feel to have a game like that to get back in the flow of things?
Well, obviously Alaska was a really big trip. We had 2 games there. Coach Todd allowed us to stay there 2 days more to kind of enjoy the environment there. Then we had some days off, and then we had this game to prepare. So, we were a little tired from the trip, but I think the game obviously went well. So
you're happy with that for sure. Now in Alaska, you guys got to go out with the dogs on the sled. First time you've ever done that?
Yes, I think everybody ever done it before. So yeah, it was so fun. I think it was one of the fun experiences I had. It was freezing. It was really cold, but it was very fun too.
Now in Italy, did you live near the mountains in Italy or no?
Just about 2 hours, but not really close.
But so Alaska was the coldest you've ever been?
Yeah, definitely. Besides last year, there was a storm here in Kentucky. It was pretty close to it. Yeah.
What about that Utah game? Obviously, the score wasn't what you wanted it to be, but to play against teams like Utah, Tennessee, those kinds of teams, how much does that help you grow your game and get better as a basketball player?
I think it was a perfect game for us to get better and know where we have to grow on. Coach Todd talked about it after the game. He was really proud of the way that we played because even though obviously the score wasn't great, but we played hard for all 40 minutes, and that's what he want us to do. Not looking at the scoreboard, but just keep playing hard and give everything we have during all the 40 minutes of the game. I think we learned a lot from that game and going through the season for what we have to learn on.
I want to talk a little bit about some of your teammates. I love watching you and Ivy playing together. You guys are really clicking. You get in transition and move the ball really well. How fun is it to play with another guard like Ivy Turner?
Yeah, I like when people ask me this because I really like playing with Ivy. Actually, she's her 50 is really experienced, and having her by my side as a point guard, it helped me a lot growing. I always say that we have 2 different personalities. She's a little more calm, and sometimes I go out of control when I play. So I'm trying, to learn from her a lot, and yeah, I think it's good to have her on the court because she can handle the situations very well, and she knows what plays to call and stuff like that. So I think it's really good working with her.
And then you got Sierra underneath, and she just pulls down every single rebound like nothing's getting by her. What is it like to have someone who can pull down the rebound and kick it out so you guys can get running?
Sierra's super energetic, super aggressive, rebound every time she gets it. She just all the balls, she gets all the rebounds. It gets me excited every time I watch her play because she plays really hard and aggressive. So it's great. I think overall the entire team plays hard and aggressive, and that's what we want. That's what the coaches want us, and she's the perfect example for it.
Now, everybody knows Antoinette, of course. She's a phenomenal player. She gets all the preseason recognition. and all that kind of stuff as well. And so we won't talk much about her because everybody knows about her. Althea is playing really well as well. She comes in another. She's from Australia, so another foreign-born player that comes through. But the girl that catches my eye is Jasmine McGinnis Taylor. The way, and I say this in a very positive sense, she's nasty. Like, she grabs the ball, she's swinging the elbows. She's just got that dog in her, as people say these days. The youngins say this. Jasmine's incredible to watch play. But you guys have 10, 11, 12 players this year. That depth is so much different than what you've had in your time here at EKU.
Yeah, I agree. No, Jasmine, she's coming back from an injury. But the way that she plays when she's in the game, really, she's not afraid of anything. She obviously, you all can see that she's strong. She plays physical, and just like Sierra, she can get those rebounds. She's really aggressive when she plays, so it's good. And for the team, I think we have a very deep team. Like, it doesn't matter who's on the court. Like, we know that everybody play hard, and if somebody gets tired or something, you can count on everybody on the bench to come in and give the same energy during the game. So it's great.
All right, Ryan, what do you got for Alice?
Well, if you're like me, Alice, Mike, we're old, so we've been here for probably the longest amongst all the school teams. I have to ask, because we were back in the Adidas era, how has the transition been from Adidas to Nike, and have you enjoyed it?
I mean, nothing wrong with Adidas, but I feel like everybody likes Nike. I love Nike, so I'm really happy about that. The gears are great. The basketball shoes good. I mean, I'm really happy about being Nike.
Now, with the shoes, how much time do you take into picking out your shoes to make sure you got the right pair that you want to play with?
See, this is the thing. When I get one pair of shoes, then I keep playing with it until it's completely broken, and the coaches tell me, you gotta change the shoe. But I'm not super superstitious, but when it comes to the shoe, and if I start wearing a shoe from practice and then in the games, then I keep it almost during the whole season, and it's not always great. They get old, but
yeah.
I
like it. Rhino, what else you got for Alice?
This is a question that's always been on my mind, and I've always wanted to ask you this, especially around this time. What would be your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
Ooh. See, we in Italy we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I've been obviously just since I'm here. I've been eating like with friends and stuff. So what I like is the baked mac and cheese. Yeah, one of my mates' mom make them. Super good.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Tell us about Nakia Thompson. She's been injured and unable to play, but everybody says the same thing. Like, this girl, when she gets on the court, and she gets on the court with you and Ivy at the same time, like, it's like going to be a dynamic trio with the talent that she has. So tell us a little bit about Nakia.
She's another player, super energetic. She's bouncy, shifty. When we practice, I hate when she guard me, so I can't imagine that when we play against somebody else and she's guarding like other guards. I bet they feel the same way. She's super good in defense. She takes a lot of pride in one-on-one. And then other than that, she's super fast. So you were also able to guard her because she's really super fast. So I can't wait to see her back on the court.
Now, you guys have about a week off before Simmons College comes to town. Then you've got Miami of Ohio a couple of days later before your trip to Tennessee. Actually, you play 2 games in Tennessee, one in Knoxville against Tennessee, and then you go to Tennessee State as well. So it's going to get tough here pretty fast for you guys. But looking ahead, this time off, what are you guys doing with the extra time? I know you're practicing, but you're putting in the efforts to get ready for what's ahead, right?
Yeah, we are. We have this week off. We obviously have practices. We're gonna lift and taking care of our bodies like with athletic trainer because we have this week off, which is a lot, like pretty enough time to take care of our bodies. We have finals week, so we also have to stay focused on schoolwork. And then we have Miami, Ohio. I think that's gonna be a good game because I'm taking it a little bit personal because we've lost last year and the year before. So um, I'm looking forward to that game.
That's great. Now, we talked before, you were on the show once before, and we talked about just the transition from Italy to America and all that kind of stuff. But with the schooling and the education aspect of it, playing basketball is one thing, it's a universal language, but schooling is not. So that transition to the education side of college and taking the classes and things like that, and now that you are coming up to exam week and things like that too, how long did it take you to get comfortable with the education side of transitioning to America?
As far as education, it was really hard my first year because my English was not great. Um, I think I got used to it pretty well with studying and reading a bunch of things. I had a lot of players that helped me learning English and just help me with like some school stuff. But now I feel pretty confident. I used to do my homework in Italian first and then translate them, which was taking a lot of time my first year, and now I can do it directly in English. It's good. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's a little bit different from university in Italy, but I think it's better. In Italy, you only have one exam at the end of the semester, so you have to study all the way through the semester for that exam. While here, obviously, we have like a bunch of exam every like 2 weeks, a week, something like that. So it makes you stay prepared every week.
I've got one more thing for you, but first, Ryan, anything else for Alice?
I got one more question. Since you said you use the same shoes, which is, I guess I do that in football, but do you have like a pregame routine or a song you have to listen to, something you have to do to get in like a zone?
Uh, I actually do not have a pregame routine. We just have the shoot around and pregame meal, and then I came back at the house and I just really chill for a little bit. And I do listen some music, but I don't really have a pregame song. Yeah.
All right. So if you're going to play 2-on-2 and you've got to pick somebody from the coaching staff to play
Oh,
with you, all right, someone from the coaching staff to play with you, who are you picking to play alongside with you?
I have to pick one of my coaches to play with me.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably pick Coach Brown. She's she's has a lot of experience. Obviously, she played WNBA. There's not even much to say. Like she's great. So, and she was a point guard that will help me too. She's helping me a lot.
Yeah, now I know Coach Todd's playing a lot of pickleball these days, so he's staying in shape, and I know that he's going to take offense to that, but I think we all understand Coach Brown is a great pick as well. Alice, we appreciate you taking some time for us. We absolutely love the team. We keep telling people they got to come out and support you guys. The girls, you're a fun team to watch. There is a lot of depth this year. So a lot of new faces as well. So as fans, we got to learn the new faces, but it's such a fun team. I love what Coach Todd has done, and we hope to have you around for another year. We're not going to ask you that right now, but we hope to have you around for another year, even still. But congrats so far, 6-1, best start since 1981. Now, listen, I'm old, but I wasn't even born in 1981. So a phenomenal start to the season, and excited about what's ahead for you guys. So good luck the rest of the way, and thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alice Recanati from EKU Women's Basketball. Like I said, a fantastic team, fantastic young lady, doing good things. I'll tell you, Ryan, I was born in 84. So, I mean, I'm old, but 81. That's a great start. Coach Todd has done amazing things with this team, and the recruiting class this year is phenomenal. They're just deep, man. I mean, they were platooning a little bit on Saturday's game, and I don't think they'll do that in regular games, but they can. And once Nakia comes back, they're going to have that talent too. So it's exciting to watch for sure. All right, so here's the plan, Ryan. At some point over the next week or two, we're going to have a football recap show. We're going to give out awards. We're going to talk about the season and each game. I want to run through each game real quick and get some memories from some guys and things like that as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to work on that. We'll continue to cover basketball, men's and women's basketball. We'll keep up with what's going on with this volleyball tournament as well, and might have someone from volleyball on to talk about that. Baseball season's right around the corner. There's so much going on still.
Right.
But of course, we also are aware of the schedules of the student athletes with their exams and everything going on too. So we'll continue to be patient and work through all of that. But Ryan, when do you head back up north?
I actually think I might leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I want to spend as much time with my family as I can before I have to go up, because I'm in online classes, so I'm not in any rush to get back up to Richmond. But I definitely want to spend as much time with at least my grandma, my mom, dad. We play some cards or something.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's always good to get home. I remember college, even though it was a long time ago. I still remember it. Getting home to family is always fun. I get to spend some extra time around them, especially this time of year as well. Let's see here. Shout out to KB and to Alex for helping us with the guests today, to Michael and Alice for coming on and taking time to chat with us as well. And like I said, with just the way the men's season has gone so far, I thought Michael would be a good guest, to kind of that veteran presence, that captain, to come on and talk about where they're going. We know that they're going to pick things up and get things rolling. But like I said, Coach Hamilton this summer was like, we are not going to be bad at free throws. So, they're working on it still, getting better every single day. I want to encourage people, if you're around, and you can come out Monday night for the men's game, 7:00 tip off there. It'll be great to have people out to support the men's team, and women again tip off a week from Monday. And so hopefully you guys come out and be there for that as well. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
Other than our two guests are two just great people, not only in the community, they're great athletes, great friends, I would call them. As it's not just a football team, a basketball team. We're all pretty close, and it's a good community at EKU, and those two are definitely big inspirations of mine to try and get out more in the community and try and go to more games, because you see them every Saturday at our football games. So yeah, we need to start going out and supporting them too.
Well, I know last year, almost every baseball game we went to, Michael was there. I think he was helping with the ticket office, but he was there and would chat us up as we came through and things like that as well. And yeah, so that's pretty cool to see the camaraderie between sports for sure is neat. I think at EKU, I don't know how prevalent that is everywhere else, but it seems to be pretty prevalent here at EKU. All right. Well, let me remind everybody, go to righteousfelon.com. You're going to use the code STOVE15 at checkout. Right now, you're going to get 20% off. And they have not told me how long they're going to hold that open. They just said a limited time. So 20% off right now. Go and check it out. I sent all my favorite flavors to my wife to make sure that she could order them, get them in my stocking. And great stocking stuffers. Great stuff for sure. righteousfelon.com. STOVE15 is the code at checkout. Thanks to IPM Pest and Termite and All Around Roofing for their support of the program as well. And of course, as always, thanks to Ryan for joining us, even at his home away from home. Well, that's actually your home. But anyways, studio in Tennessee as well. And I always appreciate you, Ryan, and your help here on the program. All right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Sports Stove for more EKU coverage. And, well, hopefully we'll see everybody out at a game very, very soon. So thanks for watching tonight's edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.